Hello everyone, welcome to Here We Go. In this lesson, let's learn a few moves that can be played on the side in the opening. This first pattern is called the sunrensei, or the three connected stars. So by move number 5, black has occupied all 3 star points on the right. We call this a sunrensei, or 3 connected stars. It is something that's very common actually in professional games 25 years ago, and it is also very common in amateur games. The reason why black plays at number 5 is pretty obvious, right? It wants to have more influence, more control of the right side, which is between the 2 occupied star points. So black really wants to reinforce the right side, and dares white to enter. A slight variation would be playing on the 3rd line instead of the 4th line. Of course, this will not be 3 connected stars, but this move on the 3rd line also seeks to reinforce black's right side. This is also a legitimate move for beginners to make. Next, let's learn about the Chinese opening. So again, it's only 3 moves on the right side. So we have a start point on the upper right, a 3-4 point on the lower right, and this 3-4 point is facing the upper right. And we have this move, number 5, at R9, that is diagonal to the start point on the side, on the 3rd line, and closer to the 3-4 point. And this is called the Chinese opening. It is developed by some Chinese players. It is close to the sunrensei, and the goal is to reinforce the right side. A slight variation would be this point, that's closer to the 3-4 point and farther away from the start point. So you might see these 2 moves in the opening, and the goal is to reinforce the right side. These are not corner closers. Next, let's look at a slightly more complicated opening called the mini Chinese opening. This will involve black's approach. White responds with a knight move, which is perfectly legitimate and very common. And now, black's number 7 will finish the mini Chinese opening move. So we call moves 3, 5, and 7 the mini Chinese opening. This move seeks to have some connection to the corner as well as this black stone on the left, and it seeks to reinforce the lower side. This move 7 seeks to establish influence on the lower side. Of course, white can still contest, but black has played here first, so it is likely that black will have a natural advantage on the lower side. A variation of this move would be this, one space apart from the original mini Chinese move. So you might see the mini Chinese opening with a variation in amateur and some professional games. Lastly, let's learn about the Kobayashi opening. It's like this. Again, we have an approach pattern, but this time the 3-4 point is facing the upper right. And we have move number 7 that finishes the Kobayashi opening. This opening was developed by the Japanese player Kobayashi Koichi, and many players emulated him by setting up this opening. The point is similar. Number 7 seeks to establish influence on the lower side. Relatively strong connection to number 5, and it can be easily connected to number 3. And it's not that easy for white to come into the lower side and start a fight. A variation of this move would be this, which is closer to number 5 and farther away from the corner. So the Kobayashi opening is still pretty popular among amateurs because it is very easy for black to play and for black to control the lower side. However, it is not as common in professional games. Overall, artificial intelligence has frowned upon these side openings. This is an example where these moves work pretty well for human beings, but AI prefers corner closers, corner approaches, and the 3-3 invasion to the star points. AI seems to focus a little more on the corners in the opening moves, and generally it doesn't like moves like the sunrensei, Chinese opening, and the Kobayashi opening. especially move 7. But these moves work perfectly fine for human beings, and as beginners, you should be encouraged to try out these moves and see which of these opening moves work for you. As you're growing stronger and want to play more like AI, of course, you can abandon these moves and learn more from AI. But remember, the key to playing Go is to have fun, is to experiment with these opening moves, try them out yourselves, and see what happens. Thank you for watching.